we could sing to you for a half a day.
What'd she say?
What other songs do we know?
Songs you sang when you were a kid.
That's skunk hole.
Yeah. I used to sing the old Bachelor song.
Oh, sing that one. Sing that
I
Bachelor.
forgot how it went. I just remember the
I'm a
last.
stern old bachelor. My age is 44. I do declare I'll never live. That ain't the one, is it? Women anymore. No.
That's it.
That's not
the last stanza. And when I die and go to heaven, as all old bachelors do, I will not have to worry and fret that my wife won't get there too.
Now, what's the skunk song?
What'd she say?
The skunk.
The skunk song.
Oh, it stuck my head.
I stuck my head in a little skunk's hole.
And a little skunk said up on my soul, take it out, take it out, take it out, remove it. And I didn't take it out. A little skunk said, if you don't take it out, you'll wish you were dead. Take it out, take it out, take it out, remove it. Phew, I removed it. Sue Ann sang that song in Sunday school, didn't she?
Yeah. You don't know what a skunk is, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Animal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what a skunk is.
I used to trap when I was young.
I did too.
And I trapped skunks and muskrats
I skinned them.
minks. And Clarie, I was in high school and she was out, so sometimes she would skin them for me.
What would you do with the skin?
Oh, sell them.
Oh, make
I paid
money.
my way through high school by running my trap line of them on.
We made money. The old fur man would come around and buy our furs. And one time I had to run the trap for Richard. He was in school. There was the trap of the skunk get up in the thicket. And I went up there and I seen him. I guess I let him out and knocked him in the head. And I laid him over there to reset the trap. And I looked when I got up. There he was alive and looking at me. Oh, I said, oh, I got to knock him in the head. It's either him or me. I got him. I never did forget that one.
How did you set the trap? How did you get him in there?
Well, it was a steel trap. Has like a circle, and they're hinged here, and they come up and go together. So you pry them open, and it's got a spring on the thing here, and you would put a little, slip it up there, and it had a little pan in the middle, and if any animal stepped on that, it released it, so it went together. And it's kind of brutal, but
made money.
Different times from now.
It didn't gross you out to see those animals?
Huh?
It didn't affect you to see those animals trapped there?
No, we
got used to it, I guess.
We were accustomed to it. It was part of life. We butchered hogs, you know. We would shoot the hogs and butcher them. And
farm life was hard. You had to have couldn't have a tender heart.
Yeah, but we never got on drugs. No. We never got on drugs or anything like that. The kids are on drugs now. They say, "Oh, you killed an animal? You killed an animal?" And crazy people.
That's what farm life was about, wasn't it, Richard?
We would never got on drugs. You know? I don't know what the difference is.
You were too busy.
Yeah, we were busy. We had,
I know. I think now, how could I have killed those animals? How could I have killed that skunk? I don't know. I guess I thought it was going to bring some money, Richard.
Yeah,
we need that money.
We could kill rabbits and animals, but now in town they shoot one another. You know.
Yeah.
They don't like you, they just shoot you. We would have never done that.
Oh, mercy. Mercy.
You didn't have a television, though, growing up, did you?
No.
How did you get the news?
Newspaper.
Did they come drop it off?
Oh, yeah, we had a newspaper every morning. And we had a radio. and we got enough news. Now I think we get too many news.
I think so too.
And it's like Trump said, fake news. To impress you the way the politician wants to impress you. You don't know whether half of it's true or not.
We went through some rough times went through the Depression and World War II. When World War II came along, all the boys my age had to go overseas right away to the war. And a lot of them never been over home. A lot of them had never been home overnight, I'm sure, any place, you know. That was awful. And I know one fellow I went with, he was dreading to go, and he was on that ship and going to Normandy, Paul Snyder.
Yes.
And they let him off that ship, and they had all this stuff on them, all the stuff they had to carry with them, and had to wade through the ocean there, and the Germans were shooting at them that they got
Well,
him.
that was D-Day.
That was D-Day.
Oh, it killed your.
Yeah.
He was your boyfriend.
Oh, just a friend. You know, I dated a few times. I know he hated to go. He had to go. He was drafted. And, but I just saying, all the boys about that time, they never went away from home or anything. Neither did they, Richard.
No.
But a lot of them never went away from home, and that was a scary time for them. And he heard all that war news, and Richard was over there. We didn't know where he was. But,
Now, how old were you when you got drafted?
I was 21, I think. I was excused for a year or two because I was farming. And then they finally decided they needed me. And so they drafted me. But I was drafted limited service because my right eye, I couldn't tell you from anybody else with my right eye. But I had the left one really good. And they said, well, we're going to draft you. You'll never go out of the States. You'll
limited service.
Draft me for limited service. And so I thought, well, that's all right. But I was ready to go, you know. But I felt a little guilty about staying home because a lot of my friends were. But they didn't draft farmers. So I was drafted, and I was kept up at Fort Harrison for 3 months in the medical section. So I got real good at taking blood samples, you know.
Oh, they taught you how to do that.
50, 100 guys come in, and I'd take blood samples from all of them, you know. I was good at that. I escorted a couple of train loads out to the West Coast to go, and then they started needing guys. And they sent me to Ohio University to study engineering. And I never did like math, so I didn't apply myself, and so they kicked me out of that. And I was on a train with a bunch of guys, and we were on that train for seemed a week. Finally, that train pulled up out in the country in the Illinois, and the old colonel got us all out and lined us up, and he said, I have the sad responsibility to tell you guys you're now in the Army Engineers. So they said all the guys 6'2" step out, and they put them in A company, and they had 6 A, B, C, D, and F
By height.
by height, and I was in F company. I was tall as anybody in F company, and so they started to train us to be engineers, mainly bridge building.
Even though they kicked you out of school?
Yeah, well, that was different. Yeah. See, engineer training, that was different. That was regular soldiering.
Oh.
Regular soldiering. We were in the Army then. School was all forgotten.
So they just said, forget about the books, we're going to show you.
Yeah. I was in engineering outfit. We trained hard. And F company, we were short. So they called us the mighty midgets. But we could do stuff that the tall guys couldn't. But we were all muscular and little guys, you know. And
tall men have weak backs.
yeah, they had too much back. And so we called ourselves the mighty midgets. So they taught us to do A lot of buildings.
How long were you there?
In Fort Harris, we were out in Illinois 6 months, I guess, or 7. And then they shipped us to Boston and put us on a boat and took us to Scotland and then down to England. And that was terrible going across the Atlantic in March. The ocean was so rough that you'd be down in the trough and you couldn't see the boats that was in your convoy. It was terrible. Everybody got sick. Anyhow, we poured concrete for hospitals, tents. They were going to need them, see. And the plane, we were right near a plane airfield there where they were bombing Germany. We'd see those Liberator planes and those foreign fortresses coming in. And so many of them didn't come back. And some of them came back with just 2 motors running, 2 propellers just not turning. And we were building the hospitals. And then D-Day happened in the 6th of June, and we didn't go across until July. And Patton formed his 3rd Army. See, they thought he was out of it because he got in trouble down in Africa, you know, slapping that boy. And you don't remember that, but but he was had a bad reputation. But he formed up his 3rd Army, and we went across the Channel in July.
So you were in Patton's 3rd Army.
Yeah, yes. And they lined us all up, and that morning there was, I believe, 1,000 planes overhead. They were from horizon to horizon. And they broke through that German lines, the St. Lo breakthrough, and Patton went and we followed him. He said, "Lead, follow, or get out of the way." That was his saying. And so we followed. And he was the guy that won that war over there.
And what
Battle
was
of the Bulge?
The battle. He ended up the Battle of the Bulge, and we were there. He's the one that took care of the Battle of the Bulge and whipped the Germans there. And it was in the wintertime. The snow was that deep, and but we were there.
Did you have to shoot guns?
No, I never fired the gun.
Oh, good.
We had them all the time. We had that gun loaded. Every place
You never killed anybody.
Never killed anybody. They would fire at us, but we were busy working. But most of the fire we took was artillery. They would try to shoot the bridges we were building.
Oh.
Try to destroy the bridge. You know.
Did anybody ever get shot?
Yeah, once in a while. But one time I hid in a house, a 3-story house, and they took the upper story off, and you could hear that old stuff rattling down, you know. We'd hide.
Tell me about the foxholes.
What?
Tell her about what the foxhole was like.
Well, I think on Christmas Day I would spend all day in a foxhole, but they didn't come through there. And the night before that, they took us up on a mountain about like the knobs over here, and there was road came down through there, and we put explosives on the trees to blow them down when the tanks came through there. And I was in a hole there all night with the bazooka. The snow was that deep, and they didn't come through there. I had a buddy from Cleveland, Ohio, Lewis Michael Wick, and when something like that had happened, he'd get out in the street and he'd just holler, "We're the luckiest outfit in the ETO, European Theater of Operations." And it just happened so often, you know. I told him, I said, my mom's praying for us, you know.
Tell about the foxholes, what they were like.
Well, they're just a hole in the ground.
Oh, but then they had like 2 places for 2 men to sit.
Well, you could make a bench. It was best if there's 2 men in a foxhole, you'd make a bench to sit and then make it dress up deeper. And if you want to look out, you can step on that bench and look out. And that otherwise, your head wasn't out all the time.
You put trees over when there was bombers coming over. Didn't you put?
Well,
shrubs sometimes.
sometimes.
How big was you had to dig it?
Oh yeah.
How deep was
everybody
it?
had a shovel on your backpack, a little shovel, handle about that long, and it's amazing how fast you can dig sometimes.
How deep was it?
Well, if you stand in there, you could look out. You made them deep. Sometimes if you was in a hurry, you just made them so you could sit in them, and it just depends on how long you go stay there. Sometimes you just dig a trench and lay in it.
How long did that take?
Well, depends on how much artillery was coming over.
Scary, wasn't it?
Weren't you scared a lot?
Well, concerned. I don't know if I was ever. I never had any guy charging me with a bayonet. You know.
Mm-hmm.
We had our guns all the time, but loaded, ready for
Never
anything.
shot anybody.
But old Patton, he didn't expose us. He wanted to keep us to build bridges. He wanted us to build bridges, and he didn't expose us unless he had to. I was in the Patton Museum, you know about the Patton Museum over in below Louisville. I never had been there, and Billy Goodwin took me a while back, and there was a big wall-size frame or picture of Patton standing there at a bridge, and there was a sign there on the bridge. I knew that I'd help build that bridge, and up on top of it said the Mighty Midgets. And so it's a bridge we built, and we always put on the bridges a sign built by the Mighty Midgets of 1303rd Engineer Regiment. But
would you just make the sign out of wood and paint?
Yeah, we painted white, and he was proud of us, Mighty Midgets. After the war was over, through the mail, we all got a postcard said "To the Mighty Midgets," signed by old Patton.
Oh,
Who's out there?
That's my dad.
Huh?
That's Bill, my dad.
Oh,
So
Bill.
Yeah.
tell me about the
broken
bridge
out
you
there.
said you built in one night or 2 nights.
Oh, we built. There's a picture of them up there. Yeah, come in.